Let's go from Colorado, head south to Nevada and your other flagship property, Cherry Creek. Talk a bit about this property and the history, and then we'll get into what's going on there now.
Well, Cherry Creek was the property that we started with Viscount Mining. And our VP of exploration at the time, who unfortunately has passed away, brought this opportunity to me. And what was exciting about it, it was located in Nevada. It had 20 previously producing mines on it. All the mines were on patented land, which is very rare to get. And that's because it's been grandfathered through generations. But what attracted us to this property was the high-grade gold and silver that was mined from the mid-1800s to about 1919, 1920. And again, in the 1940s, the property was very active with the US government mining tungsten during the Second World War for the manufacture of munitions. And it took us a year to put the district together. And we ended up with 2,600 acres with 20 previously producing mines on it. What we did to go public, we had to get a 43-101. We hired Snowden, one of the largest consultant companies in the world, and they identified the structural, mineralogical, and stratigraphic parallels that are being mined by Newmont at Long Canyon, which is about 90 miles north of our property, located in the Pequot Trend. What was also interesting is in 2019, Dr. Mike Ressel, who used to be the chief geo of Newmont for North America, and it actually was when they purchased Long Canyon in 2010, I believe, for $2 billion. Dr. Ressel was the associate professor of geology at the University of Nevada in Reno. And he had one of his students do his master's thesis on Cherry Creek. And what came out of the thesis was it really documents this long-lived hydrothermal system that shows an abundance of hydrothermal-induced mineralization of nearly 8 square kilometers of very favorable structures and stratigraphy. And when I talked to Dr. Ressel about the complex nature of this thesis, which is very technical, he basically stated that we're sitting on the heartbeat in the body of the district. So we're very excited to move forward on the property. We have extended the size of it to over 8,000 acres. And we just announced Centerra Gold from Toronto as a partner on the property now. They will be spending $8 million over 4 years to acquire 70% of the property. We are the project operator working in tandem with them. So what's exciting about this is Centerra is a very well-recognized major Canadian gold producing company. They did months of due diligence on the Cherry Creek property. We started speaking with them in August of last year and announced the agreement in January of 2021. There will be news coming out imminently as we move forward on the property with Centerra. We have our team of geologists who I mentioned earlier, Mark Abrams, Dr. Jamie Robinson, Harold Hochberg, working in tandem with the Centerra team as we move this project forward and get it drill ready for a campaign in the summer of 2021. This is a property that has some incredible numbers that have come off of it. I think the best grade that they were mining off of this was about 8 grams a ton of gold and about 370 grams to 380 of silver. Sampling on the property, we have sampled up to 8,700 grams a ton of silver and about 87 grams a ton of gold. There are a number of deposits, we believe, on the property of silver and gold, and it could be overlaying a large copper porphyry. So we are anxious to get to work. We have an incredible partner, and as I say, news is imminent as work gets started at Cherry Creek.
You mentioned one of the members of your team, Mark Abrams, Viscount geologist, who did talk about Cherry Creek is one of the, I'm quoting here, this is a quote from early 2021, that one of the few remaining underexplored mining districts with geological attributes to the formation of both those in production at nearby Kinross and its Long Canyon mine. So, and obviously Centerra involved in that. Can you talk a little more about that, please?
Well, Jim, what's interesting is, as we talked about earlier, this was an area that was under the control of 5 families. There were a number of companies that were trying to put it together, and it took us a year to do that, meeting with each one of the families. So this is a property that really hasn't had proper work done on it. We know that it was mined from the mid-1800s to 1919, 1920, as I mentioned earlier, and then the mining of tungsten by the US government in the 1940s, and really hasn't had significant work done on it since then. So with the team we've put together and Centerra's expertise and the thesis that came back in 2019, we really believe that there is significant upside on this property for not only a number of gold deposits, but silver as well, and the possibility of overlaying a large copper porphyry.
It's Jim Mackenzie. He is the president and CEO, director of Viscount Mining Corporation. He's in the SmallCapPower discussion group with us today. By the way, more information, it's viscountmining.com. Jim, talk a bit about the differences between Viscount and other mining companies, including your relationship with shareholders.
Well, we have a incredible group of shareholders. Not only are they very mining savvy, but they understand that this business is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And they have been with us since day one. They have supported us in private placements. They have supported us in the market. And obviously, along with myself, are very excited that we're now in a bull market in the resource sector. And we have 2 properties that are going to be extremely active this year, drilling on both Cherry Creek and Silver Cliff. And this has our shareholders excited. We have a group of shareholders from around the world, many of them very high net worth, as I said, that have supported this company throughout the years. I think it's very fortunate that they have been with us. The company started in 2010, went public in 2013. And I think it shows by the number of shares that we have out in the company that we haven't over diluted it. We've been very savvy in the money that we've spent. We watch our burn rate. The money that we have needs to go into the ground, and that's what we're doing. We just completed a raise in August of last year, and we are now taking that money and putting it on our Silver Cliff property in our drill programs. At Cherry Creek, we didn't have to raise any more money, dilute our stock. We're spending money that Centerra is putting into the property. Therefore, no dilution on the stock to Viscount shareholders.
We've been talking with Jim Mackenzie about Viscount Mining Corporation, the properties Silver Cliff in Colorado and Cherry Creek in Nevada. Again, more information, it's viscountmining.com. We also want to remind you, if you like what you're seeing here, check out more of these SmallCapPower videos on our YouTube channel. Give us a like, give us some comments. Jim, we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us on this day. We wish you the best of luck going forward with the rest of this year and beyond. It's Jim Mackenzie, President and CEO, Director of Viscount Mining Corporation, also the founder who put it all together in 2010. Jim, thank you for giving us a little education today on 2 fabulous properties.
Thank you, Jim. It's been my pleasure.
Cheers, sir. And I'm Jim Gordon. Thank you for watching another discussion with SmallCapPower.